Hello everyone, William here. Welcome to another tutorial video. In this video, I will be talking about a minimal CSS framework that is called Pico CSS. We can be able to use it within our Laravel application. So in this video, I will just take you through installation of Pico CSS, and we can be able to also go ahead and look at what it offers and try out some of the components that it has. And then I would have put you in a place where you can be able to just install it and use it in your next application. So let us go ahead and see how to do that. And for you to be able to access the Pico CSS documentation, you just go picocss.com on your address bar. You end up in this place where I am at. And so we can go ahead and look at the documentation and see how to install Pico CSS in a Laravel application. And under the quick start, we are having that there are actually 4 ways of installing Pico CSS. And we have the first method, which is downloading Pico CSS manually. The second method is usage from CDN. So we can be able to use a content delivery link and add it on our on the header section of our HTML page and be able to use it. We can install Pico CSS using npm, and we can also install it using Composer. And for us, we will use the first method, which is just to download Pico. And so we will download it, open the folder that contains Pico CSS, and then we will extract to a folder called Pico main. And what I'm going to do is to open this folder and just one step, because it's a folder inside a folder called Pico main, and just copy the folder that is inside, because now when we open it, now we have every other thing. So we copy that one and go to the place where we have our Laravel application. I have a new installation of Laravel, which I have called Pico CSS. And I will go to public directory in our Laravel app and paste the Pico CSS download. And I just want to rename and call this Pico. And once we do that, we can go ahead and scroll a little bit downwards. And then now we have our starter template here. And I want to copy it and go to our Laravel application and replace the welcome.blade with the new starter template that we have. And now, since whatever it is that we are having is CSS Pico main.css, and when we look at public, we first of all have Pico, and then we have CSS, and then Pico main.css. And also, when you look at inside the CSS directory, we have Pico amber, Pico blue, and so on and so forth. So the different sort of theming that you can be able to get from that, and you can have also classless and the classless conditional CSS. So you can be able to choose one of these. You can choose Pico gray and so on and so forth, whatever it is that you have here. So actually, if you check, whatever it is that we are passing here is just one of them. And what we are passing here is actually pico.min.css, and it's just one of these things that are here, or one of the CSS classes that are there. So for us to access that directly, I will add Pico, because that is how we have our directories. So basically href Pico, then CSS Pico min.css, and that will be able to give us access to this framework. So let us go ahead and run our Laravel application. We will run the command php artisan serve, and now visit our application on localhost 8000. And now this is what we have. Now I would like us to go ahead and see and look at other things. So in this case, we have our container, and I would like us to just go ahead and look at some of the things. So we can have a version picker. And so for the version picker is where we were talking about theming, the theme color. So in this case, whatever it is that you're having here is Pico min.css. So if I change to a different color, for example, this one here, using the color picker. So what we have is Pico CSS green min.css. I would like us to just copy this, and once we copy it and paste it here, so I'll just paste after Pico /, Just when I do that, then once we have it like that, now we have the green theming for our application. So basically, that is how you can be able to change the theme. And for us to be able to see the effect of that is for us to maybe open and pick some content, maybe a form, maybe let's pick a form. So we can pick just the overview and pick this form that we are having here. So as you can see, the way the form is structured, we just have a form and then field set and then label, and there are no classes. So this is sort of like the classless method that we are having. So if I can paste these ones here, now if I'm to refresh, now you can see we are having our form and it has some green theming. If what we want to do is to have sort of like the grid system, so maybe divide our page into several columns, we can be able to pass in div class grid like this. Maybe if we are to use it within the form, so we can have our first value as our form like that, and then so this one you close our div, and then we can be able to pass in another div, so to encapsulate the form such that we also have another div that will be having nothing. So basically like that, and then you have a closing div here and an open div, which you have maybe we can call it column 2. So once we have it like that, if I come back and refresh, now you can see that we have our form being one-sided, just as simple as doing that. And as you can be able to see, now we are using the green theme. If I'm able to just change this and just go back to our initial Pico min.css and save, when we refresh, now you can see our theme has changed to the default one just by doing that. I would like us to go ahead and see other things that we have. So inside the layout, we have container. And so for the container, you can be able to set it depending on whatever device that you're using. You can use fixed width, you can use fluid width. And then we have landmarks and sections. So you can be able to structure your pages using landmarks and sections. So for example, you can have a header section, you can have main, you can have footer. So inside the body of your page, so for example, if we pick whatever it is that we have here, and we come inside the container, we paste those values, and then ensure that everything else is inside whatever it is that we're having for the main is inside, or maybe it's outside whatever it is that we have here. So let me just refresh again. Because this is main, we can have the headers, the header section above here. So before main, we can have our header. And then after that, we can also have our footer way below. So we can scroll all the way and close to where the main is ending at. Then we can be able to have the footer if we are to refresh. Now you find our page has something above here and something below for the footer. In this case, whatever it is that you're having are just dotted lines. Maybe you can just type it in here, footer. And then above here, we can type in header like that. And basically, that will be that. So you can see that the sections are catered for when we do that. And we also have, I've been able to talk about grid. We can also talk about overflow, whereby whenever you have even the tables and the table spans the entirety of your page, and even it's supposed to go beyond, instead of it being chopped off, you can be able to have the slider below, whereby you can check all the columns of the table. So basically that is that. We have typography, where you can be able to check the sizes of the text, heading 1, heading 2, and so on and so forth. So basically that is that. Then how links can be represented. Buttons, you can just represent a button using button and close it like that. Just HTML basically. And then it will be able to do the styling for you. You'll be able to have the CSS. And the same is being illustrated there, and so on and so forth. And then we also have table. We have talked about table temporarily. We have all the other forms that you can be able to desire to work with. Then we have components, and inside components, as you can see, we have accordion, we have card, we have drop down, we have group, whereby you can be able to have a grouped input, like whatever it is that you're having here. So if I'm to just copy this and put it somewhere within our page. So for example, if I can put it inside the place where we had column 2 and refresh. So again, you can see we have a nice looking input that has an action button in front of it. And as you can see, the syntax is very simple. We just have form and we have field set, and the field set has a role of group. And after that, we have our inputs. We can be able to put a placeholder. As you can see, there's nothing else that we are doing. We're just putting a basic input, and it will be able to handle the CSS for us. And obviously, at a point, you can also be able to customize and add your own CSS. And there are also some examples that we have here. You can be able to come and check them out. So we have this first one, which is a preview. So I would like to open it and see what we have here. So you can see it's a representation of whatever it is that you can have in your application, and you can see everything is being represented so nicely. I also would like us to maybe check on the classless preview. So also for the classless preview, this is what we have. As you can see, also looking very nice. And this is where we are representing things in a similar way in which we have represented this one here. As you can see, there is no class that you're passing, as opposed to whatever it is that we're having in the grid, where we are passing a class of grid. And so basically that is that. And then we also have conditional styling, which is the example that we have there. So we have the style section and some unstyled section below here. And then we have customized design, and we have a nice form that has been created for us there to just see whatever it is that we have. And you can see, you can also be able to use it with React. And basically, you can be able to use Pico CSS with any other framework that you want. If you're working with Vue.js, you can go ahead and install it in your Vue.js application using npm. You can be able to go ahead and use it without issues. So basically, that is all I wanted to talk about regarding Pico CSS. I would like you to try it out and see what kind of good applications you're going to create. Thank you very much for following this tutorial video up until this point. If you like the video, please click the like button. If you are new to this channel, you can subscribe and click on the notification bell that you'll be notified whenever we upload another interesting video. If you have a comment, a compliment, you can share in the comment section, even a request for a video or something that you would like me to maybe try and capture, or maybe try and show people out. You can be able to share below. I will try my level best if I can to do it. Thank you very much.